Next fixtures Saturday the 2nd of September. 2017 Abbey Hay FA Cup away 3 p.m. Tuesday the 29th of August 2017 Congleton Vale away 7 p.m. Sunday the 3rd of September. 2017 Prescott Cables home, Flixton 2:30 p.m. Sunday the 3rd of September. 2017 Liverpool Marshals Feds Reserves home 2 p.m. Alty headlines the 29th of August 2017 Witton Albion 0 Altrincham 2. More the 29th of August 2017 It's Abbey Hay in FA Cup. More the 29th of August 2017 Neil Sorvel after Colville. More other headlines the 29th of August 2017 Saturday's Gates. More the 29th of August 2017 FA Cup 1 QR. More the 29th of August 2017 Old Boys. More the 29th of August 2017 Witton Albion 0-2 Altrincham. Above Sam Sheridan, Ben Harrison, Tony Thompson and James Jones combined to keep Witton at bay. Altrincham made it 3 successive wins after a particularly impressive first-half performance. Match report here. It's Abbey Hay in FA Cup. Abbey Hay defeated Main Road 21 at Brantingham Road in Monday night's FA Cup preliminary round replay. So Alty will travel to Gorton next Saturday for the first qualifying round. Abbey Hay's scorers were Robert Swallow 10 minutes and Rhys Webb 88, with Main Road's Matthew Morgan scoring a 90th minute consolation goal. 189 spectators watched the match. Saturday's Gates at 254 Ashton United won for Buxton. Greg Young scored for Buxton at 227. Colville Town 2-0. Micklover Sports at 372. Hales Owen Town 0-2. Sutton Coldfield Town at 354. Lancaster City 1-0. Staley Bridge Celtic at 444. Marino for Warrington Town. Sean Williams scored twice from the spot at 529. Matlock Town 2-3. Grantham Town at 352. Nantwich Town 2-2. Barwell Clayton MacDonald scored an own goal playing for the Dabbers at 522. Rushall Olympic 1-2. Stourbridge at 287. Shore Lane 1-0. Farsley Celtic Damian Reeves netted the goal at 12:26. Stafford Rangers 0-1. Hensford Town at 288. Whitby Town 1-1. Workington at 754. Witton Albion 0-2. Altrincham Old Boys as Ramsbottom United beat Radcliffe Borough 30. Sam Heathcote scored one of the goals. At our neighbours Trafford, James Dean netted the home goal in a 1-1 draw with Atherton Collieries. After the Colville win, Alty assistant manager Neil Sorvel was interviewed after the GAMW with Colville Town, and this can be seen here. FA Cup first qualifying round Saturday the 2nd of September 2017. Northern and Midlands fixtures only. 1 Penistone Church v Whitby Town. 2 Albion Sports v Barlick Town. 3 City of Liverpool v Nantwich Town. 4 Warrington Town v Grimsby Borough. 5 Ashton Athletic v Bamber Bridge. 6 Kidsgrove Athletic v Clitheroe. 7 Staley Bridge Celtic v Farsley Celtic. 8 Marine v Ashton United. 9 Shore Lane Association v Radcliffe Borough. 10 Scarborough Athletic v Workington AFC. 11 Bottisford Town v Shildon. 12 Cleethorpes Town v Atherton Collieries. 13 Colne v Lancaster City. 14 Ossett Town v Concert AFC. 15 Hyde United v Kendal Town. 16 Droylsden v Colwyn Bay. 17 Abbey Hay vs Altrincham. 18 Skelmersdale United v Handsworth Paramore. 19 Buxton v Frickley Athletic. 20 Whitley Bay v Newcastle Benfield. 21 Sunderland RCA v Liversedge. 22 Mossley AFC v 1874 Northwich _ 23 Witton Albion v South Shields. 24 Hales Owen Town v Basford United. 25 Boston Town v Hensford Town. 26 Kempston Rovers v Wisbech Town. 27 Loughborough Dynamo v Stourbridge. 28 Market Drayton Town v Alvechurch. 29 AFC Mansfield v Dunkirk. 30 Soham Town Rangers v Westfields. 31 Peterborough Sports v Stafford Rangers. 32 Rushall Olympic v Potton United. 33 Sutton Coldfield Town v Barwell. 34 Street Ives Town v Colville Town. 35 Grantham Town v Holbeach United. 36 Ormond v Matlock Town. 37 Tividale v AFC Rushden Diamonds. 38 Lincoln United v Redditch United. 39 Shropshire Dynamo v Leek Town. 41 Stratford Town v Newcastle Town. 42 Kings Lynn Town v Coleshill Town. 43 Micklover Sports v Hinckley AFC. 44 Boldmere Street Michaels v Chase Town. 45 Yaxley v Dereham Town. The 28th of August 2017 Witton Albion 0-2 Altrincham. Above Alty celebrate their opening goal. Altrincham made it 3 successive wins after a particularly impressive first-half performance. Victory took them into the top half of the table, but the game was marred by 3 additions to alty's growing injury list. Altrincham took a 15th-minute lead when Hume collected a long ball and fed Poole. He placed an excellent rising shot into the net from just outside the box. However, alty then lost right-back Richmond to a foul which the referee failed to see. With fullbacks Short and Disney missing this game through injury, the loss of makeshift fullback Richmond, a midfielder by trade, must be a concern to the management. But a superb strike from outside the box by former Whitton man Josh Hancock made it 20 for the visitors in the 37th minute. After the break, alty also saw Densmore hobble off and then Hume departed after an earlier knock. Whitton had more of the game in the second half, but alty's makeshift backline, featuring midfielder Taylor at right back, and centre-back Hannigan at left back flanking Harrison and Jones, kept a clean sheet. Match report here. Bank holiday fixtures Monday the 28th of August: Ashton United 14, Buxton Coalville Town 20, Mickleover Sports Hayleys Owen Town 02, Sutton Coldfield Town Lancaster City 10, Stalybridge Celtic Marine 04, Warrington Town Matlock Town 23, Grantham Town Nantwich Town 22, Barwell Rushall Olympic 12, Stourbridge Shaw Lane 10, Farsley Celtic Stafford Rangers 01, Hensford Town Whitby Town 11, Workington Whitton Albion 02, Altrincham Whitton Albion v Altrincham. Live coverage. You can follow this fixture via this website's minute-by-minute text updates by clicking on the icon below. Alternatively, Radio Robins coverage of the game is outlined below as well. Brian Flynn announces that Radio Robins, sponsored by Ashley Mowers Garden Machinery, is providing full live commentary of Monday's game. The commentators are Paul Salt and Ian Watmore, and the match summariser is John Edwards. Coverage starts at 2:40 p.m. Guidance for listening to Radio Robins. There will be 4 ways to listen to Radio Robins via Mixlr or the Radio Robins website. Open the page in any web browser and the broadcast should start automatically. Please note that the 4-player options Windows Player Real Player QuickTime Winamp will not work now. Download and install the Mixlr app on Android devices from the Google Play Store. Start the app and search for Radio Robins. Download and install the Mixlr app on Apple devices from the Apple Store. Start the app and search for Radio Robins. There is a temporary Wix website here. Before the game at Whitton, the Northwich Guardian says of the Whitton Albion v Altrincham game on Monday that by distance, it's the biggest game in the Northern Premier League's top flight on Monday. Promoted Whitton have surprised almost everybody, save perhaps for manager Carl McCauley, by starting the season with a 5-match unbeaten sequence that has earned them a share of the lead in the Premier Division table. Visitors Altrincham proved too strong for Coalville yesterday, and have won back-to-back matches following a 10 victory at home to Whitby in midweek. It appears an early wobble, which saw them lose 2 of the first 3 games, may be behind them. Gary Martindale, Whitton Albion's assistant manager, said, "These lads are annoyed they haven't won all 5 games, and that shows how far we've come, I guess. Of course, and being serious, we'd have snapped off your hand had you offered us a chance to be unbeaten going into the game against Altrincham, no 2 ways about it." In form, Whitton have lost only 1 of the past 23 league games in front of their own supporters, turning Wincham Park into a real fortress. Man to keep an eye on is Prince Hayward. Has been among Whitland's most consistent performers in the season's opening month. The 25-year-old has excelled in a central role after playing most of last term in a position wide on the right of midfield. Fullback Matty Devine hamstring was not risked for Saturday's trip to Barwell, and has sat out the past 2 games. Frontman Rob Hopley was rested for the trip to Leicester Barwell, while attacking midfielder Ben Greenop was included in the squad for the first time since completing a transfer from Vauxhall Motors earlier this month. Familiar faces in the Altrincham side, defender Ben Harrison and wide man Josh Hancock will need no introduction to Whitton Albion supporters after playing a key part in the club's promotion success via the playoffs in 2012. Striker Tom Pearce is another to have played for the Northwich club previously, making a handful of appearances as a substitute 4 years ago while on a youth loan to the club from Chester. Most recent meetings: Altrincham 0-2 Whitton FA Cup 2 QR October 1, 2011, Altrincham 40 Whitton Cheshire FA Senior Cup January 20, 2009, Whitton 0-3 Altrincham Cheshire FA Senior Cup September 25, 2007. Admission: adults £10, concessions OP students £7, under 18s £3, members of Home Armed Forces free. Parking free at the ground. Mike Garnett reminds us of the statistical record against Albion. Although Alty shade the number of victories, Whitton have a significant lead in goals scored. At home, P83W48017L18F185A126, away P77W17D16L44F92A168, neutral P4W1DOL3F4A5, all P164W6633L65F2798295. Colville match highlights: Alty TV has highlights of Altrincham v Colville Town here. FA Cup opponents next Saturday. Altrincham travel to either Main Road or Abbey Hay in the FA Cup first qualifying round. The two Manchester clubs meet today, Monday, in the preliminary round replay. Last Saturday they had contrasting fortunes as Main Road lost 0-5 at home to City of Liverpool FC, whilst Abbey Hay secured a 20-win away to Northwich Victoria, thanks to goals by George Noon and by Nitolo in front of a crowd of just 91. The 27th of August 2017, Altrincham 4 Colville Town 2. Altrinchams win lifted them to 14th in the Evo-Stick Premier North. Above, Gavin Rathbone's image shows Jordan Hume hitting the deck during his hard-working performance in the game. Match report here. Next opponents: Whitton Albion. Having played bottom-placed Colville Town on Saturday, Altrincham are away to joint league leaders Whitton Albion on Bank Holiday Monday 3 p.m. Whitton are unbeaten after 3 wins and 2 draws, although they have only scored 5 times so far. At the back, they have conceded just twice. And after playing a team we had never previously played, Colville Town, we now face the club in this division against whom we have played the most. Mike Garnett reminds us of the statistical record against Albion. Although Alty shade the number of victories, Whitton have a significant lead in goals scored. At home, P83W48017L18F185A126, away P77W17D16L44F92A168, neutral P4W1DOL3F4A5, all P164W6633L65F2798295. Whitton Albion play just 12 miles from Alty at Wincham Park, Chapel Street, Wincham, Northwich, CW96DA. Reserves result: Altrincham FC reserves lost 21 at Billinge on Saturday. The next game is on Tuesday 29th when they are away to Congleton Vale 7 p.m. Alty TV's highlights from the 10-win over Whitby Town on Tuesday here, and Michael Ripley photography's photos from that match are here. Gates Saturday's attendances were at 592 Altrincham 4-2 Colville Town at 162 Barwell 01 Whitton Albion at 278 Buxton 2-1 Hales Owen Town at 176 Farsley Celtic 1-0 Rushall Olympic James Wallashaw's penalty settled this game at 244 Grantham Town 2-0 Whitby Town at 412 Hensford Town 1-1 Lancaster City at 183 Mickleover Sports 1-2 Nantwich Town at 285 Staley Bridge Celtic 0-1 Shore Lane at 639 Stourbridge 0-2 Marine at 193 Sutton Coldfield Town 0-2 Ashton United at 243 Warrington Town 2-0 Matlock Town at 418 Workington 0-0 Stafford Rangers NW News at Ewan Fields. Hyde United drew 1-1 with Ramsbottom United. The Rams' 90th minute goal was scored by Altiloni Talani Amatola. Andy Owen scored one of the goals as Skelmersdale United defeated Glossop North End 20 on Saturday, the 26th of August 2017. Altrincham 4 Colville Town 2 above. Alty celebrate after James Poole's goal. In a very entertaining game, Altrincham let slip a 2-goal lead before recovering to win the game by a final 2-goal margin, which was, perhaps, a little harsh on Colville. Despite lacking 4 players through injury or absence: Miller, Amos, Densmore, Harrop, Altrinham's bright start got them 2 goals clear in only the 13th minute. Match report here. Saturday fixtures. Saturday the 26th of August 2017. Altrincham 42, Colville Town, Barwell 01, Whitton Albion, Buxton 21, Hales Owen Town, Farsley Celtic 10, Rushall Olympic, Grantham Town 20, Whitby Town, Hensford Town 11, Lancaster City, Mickleover Sports 12, Nantwich Town, Staley Bridge Celtic 01, Shore Lanes, Ourbridge 02, Marine Sutton, Coldfield Town 02, Ashton United, Warrington Town 20, Matlock Town, Workington 0, Stafford Rangers. Phil's perspective. Brian Flynn's interview with manager Phil Parkinson for Altrincham today is below. Phil said, "We go into the bank holiday weekend looking to build on our first win of the campaign on Tuesday night against Whitby Town. We created a lot of chances and it was frustrating that we didn't put more than one of them away. Josh Hancock could easily have scored 3 or 4 times and Tom Pearce was very unlucky to have a class finish ruled out by the assistant referee flagging for offside. That was almost a carbon copy of what happened at Matlock last Saturday. I'm still not sure how we didn't get at least a point out of that game, but we ended up on the wrong end of a 10 scoreline. We now face 2 games in 3 days over the bank holiday weekend, and with less than 48 hours between this afternoon's home game against Colville Town and Monday afternoon's local derby at Whitton Albion, we may well need to use all of the players available to me and Neil Sorville. Tom Hannigan completed his 1-match suspension on Tuesday and is available again, so we now have more central defensive options after James Jones came in for his debut against Whitby and was a real steadying influence alongside Ben Harrison, who has been outstanding so far for us. John Disney Wright is still struggling with his ankle injury. Fortunately, Simon Richmond has slotted in superbly at right back to cover. Sean Densmore will be available for the Whitton game, but it may be too early for him to be involved again, as he will have only just got back from the USA and may be suffering from the effects of jet lag. Max Harrop is away this weekend and not available to us, so we are not flush with bodies, but I still expect to be able to field a strong team and bench in both games. Colville won the first points of the season with a late goal at Grantham in midweek and are a big strong side that like to tackle. They have a couple of likely match winners in Matthias MacDonald and Nathan Watson, and they have just signed Cleveland Taylor from Matlock, who we came up against at Barwell when Neil and I were at Nantwich. The fans played a massive part with superb vocal support on Tuesday night, and it would be fantastic if we could repeat that at the J. Davidson Stadium today and at Whitton on Monday. Appointment of Supporters Liaison Officers. Altrincham Football Club is pleased to announce the appointment of Mike Reeves and Alison Corser as the club's first Supporters Liaison Officers. Mike Wright is 26 years old, and was introduced to watching Altrincham by his parents. His earliest memories are of the 199,899 season when we gained promotion back to the highest level of non-league football as champions of the Unibond League Premier Division. A long-term season ticket holder before heading to study at Aberystwyth University, Mike is now back living in Timperley, working as a care assistant and student nurse. He regularly attends home and away games. Alison Corser started watching the Robins in the 200,708 season and is now in her 10th campaign as a season ticket holder and is renowned for being one of the most vocal main stand fans. Get back in your box, shut up and sit down, or 2 of her trademark barracks of opposition management. Alison inherited her love of football from her mother, who was a season ticket holder at Fulham, before the family moved north to Sale and started to watch Manchester City. Alty is Alison's real team now. The creation of the Supporters Liaison Officer SLO role was part of the 5-year strategic plan and will act as a bridge between the football club supporters and the board. The role, which is backed by a UEFA initiative, is designed to ensure that fans have dedicated points of contact, who will represent the needs of fans and ensure that the most common issues are raised at the highest level within the football club. The board believe that these 2 appointments can help establish real, constructive dialogue between the supporters and the football club, and give fans a further vehicle by which they can put the thoughts and views forward on any subject they wish. Alison and Mike will play vital roles in providing supporters with a link into the club, allowing fans to put the thoughts and views forward on any subject. Gathering feedback formally and informally from supporters, identifying key issues and opportunities and communicating these to the club. Communicating key information to supporters and other stakeholders through a variety of media, but including face-to-face meetings if required. Congratulations to both Alison and Mike on their appointments. Altrincham Strategic Alliance. In the Sale Altrincham Messenger we read that a strategic alliance between Altrincham FC and Altrincham Unlimited aims to bring the club and its fans closer to the business community, residents and visitors. Altrincham Unlimited, the town's business improvement district BIT, has announced a new partnership with Altrincham Football Club as part of its wider Experience Altrincham campaign. The initiative, which officially commenced on August 19 to coincide with Altrincham FC's first match of the season in the Evo Stick Premier against Stafford Rangers, will see the club and Altrincham Unlimited working more closely together to promote each other's events, assets and commercial opportunities. It will also see the club engaging more directly with BID members, and start to play a bigger role in Altrincham's wider regeneration and ongoing inward investment plan. Katie Bland, BID manager for Altrincham Unlimited, said, "For more than 125 years Altrincham has had a local football team on its doorstep, but many people who work, shop or visit here don't always think of it as a key part of the town centre's leisure offer, an excellent event venue or a major commercial asset." Similarly, we are aware that many fans, both home and away, who visit Moss Lane don't always then explore the rest of Altrincham, or don't realise we have lots of events and festivals going on during match days which they could also be enjoying before or after a game. Through this partnership we therefore aim to make the Robins a more visible and integral part of the wider town centre offer, and will encouraging visitors, residents and BID members alike to get behind the club as supporters and sponsors. Graham Rowley, chairman of Altrincham FC, said, "Despite the disappointment of relegation last season, there is real sense of optimism and enthusiasm around the club, and we feel that for too long we've not been as engaged with the rest of the town as we could be. By working more closely with Altrincham Unlimited we hope to make the club a more prominent part of the wider Altrincham success story, and we are greatly looking forward to make supporting your neighbourhood team something that both local businesses and local people can become really proud of, regardless of which league we are playing in." The relationship between the Altrincham FC and Altrincham Unlimited will initially see the club promoting games, offers and events through the Altrincham Loyalty app and other Altrincham Unlimited channels. In return, Altrincham Unlimited will get regular access to the club's various promotional platforms, including the Matchday program, Matchday announcements, the club website and the Robins social media feeds, to highlight what is happening in the town centre. It is also anticipated that as the partnership develops, volunteers who help run Altrincham FC will become more involved in helping manage the town's extensive program of festivals, and that Altrincham businesses will give more commercial support to the club through sponsorship, advertising and other promotional opportunities. Supporters Transport TASC's Mark Eckesel advises us of the latest information for the away travel. As previously advised, due to its close proximity we will not be running transport to Witton Albion on Bank Holiday Monday, as we know Robins fans will have other ways of making the short journey. The same applies to either of our FA Cup opponents, on Saturday the 2nd of September, with Abbey Hay 13 miles away and Main Road 8 miles away. We will be running travel to Barwell on Saturday the 9th of September and will also be taking names for an interest list to see if we can get the numbers for Workington on Tuesday the 12th of September. These lists will be available from early next week, so keep an eye on the website, and bookings will be available by phone at the club or at the Lancaster game on Tuesday the 5th of September. FA Cup. The BBC announces that it will broadcast Billericay Town's tie against Didcot Town in the first qualifying round of the FA Cup. Billericay will host the tie, which takes place on Saturday, 2 September, kick-off at 12:30 BST. Billericay signed former Liverpool player Jermaine Pennant earlier in August, while ex-England defender Paul Konchesky is the captain. A game from every stage of the 201,718 tournament will be streamed live across BBC Sports digital platforms. This will allow audiences to watch the game live on the PC, mobile or connected TV. Matches will also be available live and on demand on BBC iPlayer. Billericay play in the Isthmian League Premier Division, the 7th tier of English football, and the side also includes former Premier League players Jamie O'Hara and Kevin Foley. Didcot Town play in the 8th tier Southern League Division 1 South West. Old Boys. The Evo Stick League reports from Glossop North End, who have signed ex-Alty goalkeeper Russ Saunders from Hyde, his second spell at the club after a short time in 201,415. Evo Stick Premier News. Marina pleased to announce the signing of striker Scott Backhaw from Curzon Ashton. The 23-year-old made his debut in the 20-win at Stalybridge Celtic on Tuesday and has had spells at Warrington Town, Clitheroe, Colwyn Bay, Skelmersdale United and Whitton Albion. The 25th of August 2017 Alty's prophet from programme sale Terry Surridge writes that the programme shop, run by Campbell McLeay, David Thorpe and Ian Boardman, is a long-established part of Altrincham Football Club. Apart from a large selection of old alty issues, the shop has a wide range of Football League and non-league programs. Occasionally, Stuart Roberts from Bradford, himself a collector of alty programs, checks the old FL issues with Campbell and sells at auction programs that are sought after by collectors throughout the country. Over the summer, Stuart has been busy sorting through a collection kindly donated to the club, and his rewards are seen in the photo as he presents a cheque for £778.29 to the club. Seen above, left to right, are Ian Boardman, Campbell McLeay, Stuart Roberts and Dave Thorpe, in a photo which is courtesy of club photographer Gavin Rathbone. Altrincham are very grateful to all who donate programme collections to the shop, which is located on the popular side of the J. Davidson Stadium, at its junction with the Golf Road end. Josh Hancock interview. Next opponents Colville Town on Saturday. Altrincham face a club they have not previously met. Colville Town, founded in Leicestershire in 1926 as Ravenston Miners Athletic in 1926, the club relocated to Colville in 1995 after being refused permission to upgrade the Ravenston ground by the local council. The current club name has been used since 1998, and from 2003 the club competed in the Midland Alliance. In 2011 they reached the FA Vase final, where they were narrowly beaten by Whitley Bay. That year they also gained promotion to the NPL First Division South. In 2016, after two unsuccessful playoff matches in the previous seasons, Colville, known as the Ravens after their original hometown, were promoted to the Premier Division of the Evo Stick League. Colville play at the Owen Street Sports Ground, which was subsequently rebranded as the Manda Cruikshank Solicitors Stadium. It includes 240 seats in its 2,000 capacity. The Grantham Journal reports on Colville's most recent game, a 10-win in Lincolnshire last Tuesday. Grantham Town were undone by a single late goal again, after dominating offensively throughout against the lowly Ravens. An early cross-come shot from Colville's Tom McGlinchey surely had a few home fans' hearts in mouths. In a rare forward move on 20 minutes, Colville's Jermaine Hollis lifted a sitter over the Grantham crossbar. Grantham goalie Kieran Preston brought former Gingerbread Masai MacDonald down on the edge of the box 2 minutes later, and referee Mr. Chester pointed straight to the spot but luckily kept his red card in his pocket. Preston went from zero to hero when he saved Nathan Watson's spot kick with an impressive diving catch. Hempenstall forced another couple of saves from Coatline as Grantham continued to have the more chances, although the Ravens always looked dangerous on the break. The second half followed a similar pattern. The Gingerbreads had a let-off in the 76th minute when Hollis somehow fired over a sitter from inside the 18-yard box. Grantham had the ball in the Colville net a second time 5 minutes later, this time through Hempenstall, but once again the linesman's flag was already raised. With the game looking like ending in a goalless draw, the Gingerbreads were caught out in the 89th minute. In something of a scramble, Grantham cleared one shot off the line, followed by a superb only-handed save by Preston, but the loose ball fell to MacDonald, who made no mistake from spitting distance. Evo Stick Premier News. From the Lancashire Evening Post, we learned that Lancaster City boss Phil Brown has backed his side to build on their unbeaten start to life in the Evo Stick Premier Division. 2 draws this week, 11 at home to Mickleover Sports and 0-0 at Farsley Celtic, mean it's 4 without defeat to start the season for the First Division North title winners. The Dolly Blues have come from behind in 3 of the games, with Brown praising his side's character while backing them to start getting on the front foot in games. A busy bank holiday weekend brings a trip to Hensford Town on Saturday before Stalybridge Celtic visit Giant Axe on Monday. We've got great resolve, work hard and are really organised, and if you've got that in your locker then you can get something out of games, Brown said. were hard to beat. We've just picked up a 0-0 draw away from home against a team that have made a better start than us, but we finished the stronger. We'd still scored 5 goals in 3 games before that, which is about par for the course. If we can take the initiative in games and get the first goal, then we'll make things really difficult for sides. We're a work in progress, but I'm really happy. Brown has used most of his squad in the opening couple of weeks of the season, making 4 changes from the weekend for the draw at last season's title rivals Farsley. When I looked at the first few games, I thought I'd use the squad, said Brown. We were going into the unknown a little. People needed to be fresh and it gave everybody a chance to stake a claim. You've got pre-season for that to a degree, but there's nothing like playing for 3 points. I've not been rotating for rotating's sake. I've got this weekend to come, and then I'll look to be a bit more consistent, and the first 11 or 16 will be more settled. One player Brown will have to do without for the time being is goalkeeper Altrincham, who injured himself in the warm-up ahead of the draw with Miklova. Josh Powell has come in and impressed between the sticks for the last couple of games. When I did my analysis of Miklova, they seemed to send most of the set pieces to the back post, the City boss said. We were sending crosses over for Chris, and when he planted his foot, his heel hit the post and he rolled his ankle. It was quite a nasty one, to be fair, and we're looking at 4 to 6 weeks. Elsewhere on the injury front, Craig Carney, knee, and Lewis Mayer's hip are working the way back into contention. Simon Wills is also struggling with a tight groin. News from our last opponents, Whitby Town, is that their assistant manager Lee Bullock has warned that the Blues face a tough weekend. The Seasiders side face a trip to Grantham Town on Saturday 3 p.m, before hosting Workington on Monday. Bullock has warned that it's continuing the theme of the start of the season. Bullock said, "It's 2 difficult teams when you look at last season and where they finished. Grantham is, there's no other way to put it, an awful place to go with a running track around the ground. We know what we're going to get from them. They're well drilled, hard to beat, like to smash it long, and are happy for the ball to go out of play and take a couple of minutes to regroup. You've not only got to beat them, but you've also got to beat the place on the conditions, such as the useless multi-ball system that, as soon as they're 10 up, disappears. Workington will give us more of a football match. They're a good side and like to get the ball down more last season. It will be a different game completely to Saturday. The Seasiders are set to have a clean bill of health once again and could make changes following Tuesday night's defeat at Altrincham, with players like Mikey Roberts and Niall McGoldrick searching for starts. As for Hales Owen Town, the Stourbridge News reports that Haley's Owen Town boss John Hill says his players have been their own worst enemies so far this season. The Yelts have lost 3 of the first 4 games and fell to back-to-back defeats when Saturday's 21 loss at home to League New Boys Farsley Celtic was followed by Tuesday night's 20 loss at Hensford. Hill thinks slow starts are costing his side. He said, "We do lack a bit of quality at the moment, but we're giving ourselves a mountain to climb in our first half performances. We aren't defending our box well enough, and that is setting us back massively. The goal we gave away at Hensford was comical, as we failed to deal with a missed cross. Our problem is that we are starting too slowly and always trying to come back in games. If we could keep a clean sheet, then maybe we'd have a chance." It started at Workington and was the same against Farsley and then Hensford. We were 30 down at half-time at Workington but won the second half and lost 31. We were 20 down at half-time against Farsley but won the second half and lost 21, and then were 20 down at Hensford but kept the score the same with a better second half. We can't afford to keep coming from behind. This week in training we'll be working on defending our box better. I didn't think we'd be doing this so soon, but we have no choice. So many balls go into the box at this level that you have to be able to deal with them. There is work to be done and we'll make sure it happens. Hales Owen brought in forward Wade Malley from Bromsgrove Sporting this week, but Hill said, "Without doubt we need to add more. We tried to freshen things up over the summer, but it hasn't worked." Wade Malley has been earning some good reviews, and it'll be really good to work with him and see how he can improve. At Buxton this Saturday, the Yelts could be without Cameron Steele-Groin and Solihull Loney Will Mellors Blair, who is facing a spell on the sidelines with illness. And in the same source comes news of Stourbridge, where Honest Glass Boys boss Gary Hackett admitted his side were playing well below the best despite topping the Northern Premier League table earlier this week. But Hackett was quick to praise his players' attitude and commitment after coming through a difficult sequence of games unbeaten. Stourbridge snapped up a pleasing 3-1 win following a long-distance trip to Whitby Town last Saturday, which was followed with an 11 draw on Monday night at home to last season's playoff rivals Nantwich Town. Hackett said, "I'll be quite honest and say we're in a transitional period at the moment and not playing as I would like us to do. We haven't got things right yet, but we've still managed to grind out results while trying to find the right balance. Against Nantwich, we got ourselves outnumbered in midfield and gave the opposition more ball than I would have liked, which is something I tried to address. But I couldn't fault the players' resolve when you consider we set off for Whitby at 8 a.m. and didn't get back to the ground until 10 p.m. I was also missing 5 key players for the Nantwich game, all of whom started the season against Matlock Town the previous week. And it hasn't helped that I lost Caeldon Brown during the opening game through injury. Because HES are versatile, HES become a very important cog for us, but HES picked up a knee problem that still isn't quite right and he could be out for another 3 weeks." Stourbridge returned to the War Memorial Ground on Saturday when they play host to Marine, which is followed by a bank holiday trip to Rushall Olympic on Monday. Hackett added, "We have become a very difficult side to beat during a difficult period where we've played 4 games in the space of 9 days. The players are giving me everything and the supporters can play a big part as well. The crowds have been very encouraging, considering it's a holiday period at the moment and it's important they get behind the side." According to the Stoke Sentinel, Neil Kitching was pleased with the way Stafford Rangers adapted to a new shape in Tuesday night's 20 win at Mickleover Sports. The visitors took the lead 5 minutes after the break through Dan Westwood, who'd then doubled his tally in injury time to seal a fine away win. Manager Kitching had switched to a diamond midfield on the eve of the game, and only informed the players of the change before kick-off. "It took us a half hour to settle down to a new shape," Kitching told the newsletter. "We had to play that because Mickleover are too a good side, and too expansive with the ball, for us to keep the shape we had played. We changed the shape overnight and put some information into to the players before the game. But we kept that shape really well, and got better and better as the game went on. In the end, we frustrated them, caused them problems, counter-attacked and got our 2 goals. Credit to the players, they've played the game plan to a T. The result sent Borough top of the fledgling Northern Premier League table. The more the team can take on board the changes of shape that we put in place over the season to get us results, the better." With Lewis Briscoe deployed at the tip of the diamond, Bradley Fortnum Tomlinson came in for his first start up front alongside Westwood. He set up the first goal, and his pace caused Mickleover problems. Kitching admitted that it had been a tough decision to start Fortnum Tomlinson over last season's top goal scorer Carl Perry, but is pleased to have these options available to him now. "It was a big call because Carl Perry did really well when he came on Saturday, but Brad did as well," said Kitching. "We felt that playing the diamond was a bit unnatural, so we had to have potentially 2 outlets. Westy will give us goals and runs in behind, and Brad has work rate and desire and is quick." Bradford's Telegraph Argus states that Farsley Celtic have had a very promising start to the season. Adam Lakeland's side host Rushall Olympic on Saturday, and after 4 games, the Celts have twice as many points as the Picts. Farsley are unbeaten in the 4 games and sit second in the early table, with James Walshaw and Nathan Carman plundering the goals. The Picts lost their opening 2 games but beat Stalybridge Celtic 10 last weekend and drew 44 at Barwell in midweek. Closer to home, the Tameside Reporter reports on 2 local teams as Ashton United won 10 at Warrington Town. A single strike was enough for the Robins to see off another early league leader as John Pritchard's superb effort took all 3 points. The visitors were forced into several changes with captain Mark Lees on honeymoon. Cavalcou switched to left-back, allowing Lanre Olopade to step in on the right side of defence. Just before the half-hour, the Robins took the lead for the 4th successive game as Platt's pass found Pritchard in space and his swerving effort from 30 yards gave Macmillan in the home goal no chance, a moment of quality out of keeping with most of what had gone before. Liam Tomsett then forced a save out of Macmillan with a swinging shot as the Robins got the passing game going, and Aaron Chalmers then headed Pilkington's free kick over the top. Ashton team: Carnell, Olopade, Koo, Granite, Chalmers, Roberts, Platt, Tomsett, Pilkington, Chadwick 67, Pritchard, Dyke, Sub, Banham, Woodford, Durnan. The 24th of August 2017 from the Boardroom. In Bill Waterson's From the Boardroom article, printed in Tuesday's Robins Review, he announces that long-standing alty supporter, Noel Shield, is Altrincham FC's new commercial manager and calls on supporters to back the team. It might seem that events on and off the pitch have conspired to dissipate a great deal of the optimism generated over the summer. However, there is reason to believe that this gloom is premature. On the field of play we have a squad that is stronger in many positions than we were able to put out last season, and they are led by an ambitious and highly talented manager in Phil Parkinson, supported by a strong backroom staff. We have not yet seen this translate into results, but those of us at Nantwich would have seen a team that battled, and the successful execution of a plan B when in the recent past it has sometimes been difficult to ascertain if we had a plan A. The summer saw a great deal of activity off the field too. We have strengthened the board, have put in place the first of the recommendations of the strategic review and carried out ground improvements. And of course we have cleared the way for new investors to take a majority share in the club. In the coming days, we will be communicating further about our plans for the commercial function at Moss Lane, and as part of this overhaul we are delighted to announce the appointment of Noel Shield to the role of commercial manager. Noel takes over from Barry Pond in leading the drive for sponsorship and advertising, with Barry Wright looking to spend more time as the host of the Vice Presidents on Matchday. Barry is a true gentleman and has done a fantastic job for the club with more than 20 years running commercial activities at Moss Lane. We will be announcing another critical role for the club this week, the supporters liaison officer. We want to make sure that all fans have a formal route to the board, and with so much going on at the moment, for there to be a clear and unambiguous communication channel between the board and the fans. In addition, we hope that this will provide the catalyst for a reinvigoration of TASC as the official supporters body and will lead to a closer relationship between the club and all its fans. In summary, a great deal has changed at the club and more change is coming. We believe that we are currently experiencing a lag between having made the changes and those changes taking full effect. We are not complacent about this, however, and we are taking stock of progress as we go. For example, we anticipate needing to further strengthen the board as our plans bear fruit. Similarly, on the field of play, with Phil and team in place and with our squad, most of the elements of success are there. The level of change has been significant and therefore the team may take time to achieve its full potential. The support we have received over the last few seasons has been phenomenal, particularly given results. Can we ask you to please curb your understandable frustrations, which after all are not with this crop of players, nor with the management team, and show them just how magnificent an Altrincham crowd in full force can be. Youth report. As previously reported, Alty Youth lost their opening match of the season, 51 at Chester FC. Chester FC report that 3 goals in the opening 13 minutes saw Chester FC Youth begin with a victory in their NWY Premier Division opener, with a comprehensive win against Cheshire neighbours Altrincham. A Lloyd Marsh-Hughes brace, along with goals from Iwan Murray, Danny Hardman and James Cottrell, saw the young Blues seal 3 points on the opening day of the season. It took just 90 seconds of the new season for Lloyd Marsh-Hughes to open his account, firing home from the penalty spot after Rain Hallowell was dragged down in the area. The opener appeared to stun Alty, Marsh-Hughes doubling his account just 4 minutes later, nodding Iwan Murray's free kick into the far corner of the net at the near post. The Blues' confidence was growing and the third goal was added in breathtaking circumstances. Rain Hallowell's throw-in made its way into the penalty area. Iwan Murray's spectacular overhead kick fired the ball into the top corner of the net, to the delight of all in attendance. Altrincham were now finding a foothold in the game and pulled one back just before the half-an-hour mark. A loose ball on the Altrincham left was never really dealt with and was pulled back across the Chester penalty area to be slotted beyond Gale in the Chester goal, despite Ryan Dobson's attempt to clear on the line. Chester clinched the final goal of the half, however, to put their advantage at 41. Alty failed to clear a bouncing ball in the penalty area, Danny Hardman finding the net at the second attempt. The second half didn't ever produce the entertainment value that the first half had, but James Cottrell's goal was the pick of the action in the second 45 minutes. Dobson saw his headed effort saved towards the end of the half, but there was little to report in a game that had appeared over inside the opening quarter of an hour. Reserves defeated Altrincham FC. Reserves lost 20 away to Whaley Bridge Athletic on Wednesday evening. Altrincham suffered 3 injuries during the match and played the last 30 minutes with 10 men as a consequence. On Saturday they are again away from home at Billinge at 3 p.m. Next away opponents Whitton Albion. Alty's next away trip is to Whitton Albion on Bank Holiday Monday. From Cumbria, the News Star tells us that a battling performance from Workington Reds saw them take a point from an impressive Whitton Albion side. Reds came up against another talented keeper in Whitton's number 1 Calvin Hare, who denied them on several occasions, including from the spot. Sam Smith made a couple of timely interventions at the back, and despite going a goal down, Reds struck back and never stopped looking for the equalizer. When it finally came, it was courtesy of the talented Connor Tinian. A poor ball back to the Whitton keeper caused chaos as Allison chased down the ball and Calvin Hare in the goal brought the Reds striker down. The referee instantly pointed to the penalty spot and up stepped Anthony Wright to try and give Reds the advantage. It was a well-taken penalty, but Hare was ready to make amends and he dived down to his left to save the ball and Joel could not put away the rebound. It remained 0 at half-time. But against the run of play it was the visitors Whitton who took the lead. The ball came out to James Foley on the right-hand side and he squared it across the goal for Rob Hopley to take a simple tap-in. Prince Hayward was causing problems for the Reds' defense as he used his pace to get the ball forward. It took a while, but finally Reds beat the opposition keeper and Tinian struck a fine shot with his right foot and, despite a slight deflection, it flew into the goal to level matters. Whitton, Hare, Gardner, Williams, Wilson, Brown, Ryan, Hayward, Foley, Hopley, Thames, Headley. Subs not used: Jones, Evans, Newby, Neild. Mike's Whitby Guide. Mike Garnett's Guide to Whitby Town appeared in Tuesday's Robins Review. The history: we first encountered Whitby on this ground in August 1998, and early Leroy Chambers' goal being matched late on by Graham Robinson for the Seasiders in front of a crowd of 752, and met regularly over the next 6 years, apart from our one campaign back in the conference in 19,992,000. Our last meeting was in North Yorkshire on April 17, 2004, when both sides were seeking spots in the new Conference North for 200,405. Alty got off to the best possible start, Kieran Lugsden being fouled in the penalty area and Steve Aspinall converting the spot kick in the 6th minute, and Peter Ban taking advantage of the home defence's failure to clear to make it 20 with a shot from 15 yards 7 minutes later. Lugsden was, to put it charitably, assisted into the boundary wall by a home defender 5 minutes later and had to be taken to hospital, which was not a good sight for those Alty supporters who had travelled over by coach, suffered a breakdown en route and been rescued by the team coach, arriving at the Turnbull at around 3:20 p.m. The final crowd figure was 379. There were, however, enough of us independent travellers present to make a respectable noise early on. The process of readjustment after Lugsden's departure broke up the Robins' early rhythm, although substitute Marcus Hallows should have scored when put clear. Nicholson's goal in first half stoppage time stood despite the linesman's appraised flag, and when Veert converted a penalty 7 minutes after the restart, one feared the worst. Hallows steered in a Stuart Wright free kick at the far post on 59 minutes pictured left to restore Alty's lead, and he and fellow sub Matt Bailey had chances to further extend that advantage. Sheeran thought he had equalised late on, but on this occasion referee West supported his linesman's ruling in the Robins' favour. Whitby is the home of jet, the material from which black jewellery is made, the famous Abbey and the 199 steps up to it, Captain Cook, Dracula, and superb quality fish and chips if the ravenous gulls don't nick yours. I'm planning to spend a couple of days up there in October, exploring the North York Moors Railway among other things, as well as revisiting the football ground. The Turnbull ground. I first visited the Seasiders' home in April 2000. Travelling up with friends on what became a very wet Saturday to see Alty play at Scarborough. Apologies to our guests for mentioning the town. We discovered on arrival at Seymour Road that the game was off. A couple of phone calls later we found that Whitby v Guiseley in the NPL was still on and made our way north, arriving just in time for kick-off. Conditions were scarcely fit, but both sides wanted to play and the referee agreed to go ahead. Given the appalling weather, the game was great entertainment for the 494 spectators. Pictured right is Alty's game at Whitby in that year, with Stuart Schuber seen here in action. The first half was goalless, but Whitby scored twice in the third quarter. Guiseley pulled one back with 10 minutes left. Whitby missed a penalty before clinching the points with a third goal 5 minutes from time. The main stand was showing its age by the time I next visited in 2004. The terrace opposite appeared to have been re-roofed in the intervening 4 years and to have acquired a few seats. Both ends were fairly narrow, but overall the Turnbull looked a perfectly adequate venue for this level of football. FA Cup opponents. The replay of the replay between Main Road and Abbey Hay, to determine who will play Alty on the 2nd of September in the FA Cup 1 qualifying round, will now take place on Monday the 28th of August 7:45 p.m. The original replay had to be abandoned in extra time because of a serious injury to an Abbey Hay player. Former Alty physio Alan Ainsley is now back at Abbey Hay and dealt with the injury. NI Picture reviews the FA Cup replays. City of Liverpool 8, Prescott Cables 2 is a staggering result in one of 4 upsets in Tuesday night Emirates FA Cup preliminary round replays. Last Friday's original tie attracted a massive 976 crowd to Cables Valerie Park, and Tuesday saw another terrific crowd of 956 witness an amazing upset. Carl Noon scored a stunner 9 minutes into the second half to make it 51, and Luke Denson on 61 minutes, McGrath with his second on 74 minutes, and Alex Peterson 8 minutes from time made it an astonishing 8 for City of Liverpool, with Harry Kane netting a stoppage time second to ironic cheers from home fans. The Purples will now play Evo Stick League Premier side Nantwich Town in the first qualifying round. The Hallmark Security League were assured of another side progressing into the first qualifying round as league rivals West Didsbury Chorlton and 1874 Northwich met in the replay, with the visitors winning 31. Sam Hind gave 1874 a 23rd-minute lead at the host level just past the hour mark through Tom Bailey. But Jake Parker on 75 minutes and a stoppage time third from Adam Whitlock took 1874 through. Evo Stick Premier News. A review of Tuesday's matches comes from the Evo Stick League, which tells us that Tuesday night saw first wins for the season in the Evo Stick League Premier for Altrincham, Hensford Town and Colville Town, and first defeats for Warrington Town and Mickleover Sports, writes Pichero's Steve Whitney. The Pitmen saw off neighbouring Hales Owen Town 20 at Keys Park, a decent crowd of 404 seeing the home side get off to a great start with a goal from Devon Green inside the opening minute. Luke Rogers quickly doubled their advantage 9 minutes later, but they weren't able to add to that tally. Colville got off the mark by inflicting a second successive defeat on Grantham Town, who had won the 2 opening matches. But the Ravens left it late. Masai McDonald S breakthrough goal coming just 2 minutes from the end of normal time. Warrington S first defeat came at Cantilever Park against an Ashton United side who were the side that beat Grantham last weekend. John Pritchard S goal on the half-hour mark proving good enough on the night for the Robins. Mickleover were undone, also at home, by a Stafford Rangers side for whom this was a third win in 4. Danny Westwood bagged a brace for Rangers, who topped the fledgling table, making the breakthrough 7 minutes into the second half and then making sure with a second in stoppage time. Shaw Lane AFC made it 2 successive wins after winning promotion with a 20 success at Silverlands against Buxton. Nicky Walker put the Barnsley-based visitors ahead after 34 minutes, and Spencer Harris grabbed a second 10 minutes into the second half. Marine AFC recovered from last Saturday home defeat to Barwell to win 20 at New Boys Stalybridge Celtic, who find themselves bottom of the pile. Vinnie Bailey opened the Mariners' account 2 minutes after half-time before Kenny Strickland made the points safe for the visitors 9 minutes from time. The rest of Tuesday night's matches ended all square, with newcomers Farsley Celtic and Lancaster City sharing a goalless draw at Throstle Nest. Fellow promoters Witton Albion looked to be heading for victory at Borough Park against Workington AFC after Rob Hopley backquotes 52nd minute opener until Connor Tinian popped up with an 82nd minute leveller for the Reds. Former Kidderminster Harriers striker Gurjit Singh scored the hat-trick for Sutton Coldfield Town at Coles Lane, but DID and T end up on the winning side as Matlock Town battled to a 33 draw. Indeed, it was almost a 3-point haul for the Gladiators as they led 32 through goals from Sean Harrod after 37 minutes, Dwayne Wiley right on half-time and Ted Cribley 10 minutes after the break. Singh completed his hat-trick with less than 3 minutes remaining to share the points, having earlier scored in the first and 42nd minutes. Rushall Olympic picked up the first away point of the season to date after a thrilling 44 draw at Kirby Road against Bowerwell. The Pigs led 20 at the break with goals from Dominic Dell after 2 minutes and Danny Waldron in the 31st minute. More on Colville Town. Saturday's opponents for Altrincham comes from Grantham Town, which reports that the Gingerbreads lost out to a late goal in Tuesday's fixture against Colville Town. Colville had an opportunity to take the lead. Kieran Preston brought down the Colville forward on the edge of the box. Former Gingerbread Nathan Watson stepped up to take, but Preston saved well as the ball went down the middle and he was saving to his left. In the final minute, Colville attacked down the left and the shot was well blocked by Matt Baker. However, it rebounded to the Colville forward who put the ball back into the empty net. The 23rd of August 2017. Phil Parkinson. After the Whitby game, press and media officer John Edwards has provided this significantly extended version of an article he submitted for inclusion in this week's Sale and Altrincham Messenger, following his interview with manager Phil Parkinson after Tuesday night's 10 win over Whitby Town. A goal by Josh Hancock on the half-hour put a smile on Phil Parkinson's face as Altrincham registered the first Evo Stick League Premier Division win against Whitby Town on Tuesday night. Summer signing Hancock hammered home a close-range angled volley for Alty's first goal from open play this season as they turned on the style and created a string of clear-cut chances. With a second goal proving elusive, they had to endure a nervy final few minutes, but Parkinson was still delighted with his team's overall showing and the level of backing from a vociferous J. Davidson Stadium crowd. Above left, alty keeper Tony Thompson makes a good save in the Whitby match, as seen by Mike Ripley. Right, Gavin Rathbone's image shows Jordan Hume also in action against Whitby. We should have been out of sight by half-time, and it does frustrate me our conversion rate isn't better, but there was so much to be positive about. As the old saying goes, you worry when you're not creating, said the alty manager. The team ethic was superb, the energy and the way we pressed, the hunger the players showed was the key tonight. They were champing at the bit, and I knew we would win the game. From the atmosphere in the changing room, I knew they all felt like they had a point to prove. It's not going to be a walk in the park. Every game poses a difficult challenge, and if you look at results elsewhere, it's clear no one is having an easy ride. But once we hit that level of consistency, which will come through getting to know how each other works week on week, things will run smoother for us because the hunger and quality in this team indefinitely there. Jordan Hume came in for JJ John Johnston tonight and certainly took his opportunity. He was superb, and the mesmeric run he went on was absolutely fantastic and is what he is all about. It's just a shame the keeper pulled off a good save to deny him the goal he deserved. The level of competition is fierce, and lads know no matter who you are, if you have an off day, someone is waiting in the wings to take that opportunity. It's only a matter of time before it all clicks into place. I still don't think we're there yet, but it was a lot better tonight. Lots of chances, and so many of them the product of quality approach play which me and Neil pride our teams on and work really hard in training to put in place. Josh Hancock could have had at least 4 goals tonight. The one he scored was probably the hardest of all, but Josh is all about goals and is a big confidence player. I hope this will give him that confidence to go on a scoring run, as when he scores, they normally come in clusters. He is a top player at this level, and a proven goal scorer. I know once he feels settled, and the crowd are cheering him on like they were tonight, you'll really see the best of this lad. Tom Pearce was so unlucky again to have another great finish chalked off. That's tonight and Matlock last Saturday, where HES been set up by James Poole and stuck it away emphatically, only to be denied by a debatable offside. He should be off the mark with 2 goals. He's adamant he wasn't offside. He'll need to have a look, but it does seem he has been harshly treated. I thought James Jones was a steadying influence with regard to the aerial battle at the back, while Ben Harrison alongside him was outstanding, hence his Man of the Match award. Louis Short has been right up there the last 2 games as well, with regards to his performance levels. The midfield 3 were very disciplined, and that's where the game can be won or lost against Whitby, and I felt my 3 came out on top tonight. John Disney was on the bench because he wasn't quite fully fit. He wasn't quite 100%, but he could have gone on if needed. When you've got someone like Simon Richmond filling the position, though, you don't need to take any chances. I thought Ringo excelled, particularly with that goal line clearance in the first half. The shot had beaten Tony Thompson and was heading for the far corner when Ringo came from nowhere to hook it away, and then he has gone up the other end and drawn a save from the keeper to tee up Hanks for his finish, topping off a good performance from him. So overall I was satisfied with the performance and delighted with the result, which was a step in the right direction against a team who were very unfortunate not to make the playoffs last season and who, I'm sure, will be right up there again this season. I thought our fans were immense tonight, yet speaking to a few straight after the game, they said that was nothing. In that case, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the next step up from that is, because it was different class. It was electric, and I can't wait for Saturday now. Altrincham 10 Whitby Town. Altrincham secured the first win of the season at the 4th attempt with this victory over Whitby, which should have been more comfortable than it proved to be. The Robins started the game well but failed to convert several half chances before a fine advance up the wing by makeshift right-back Simon Richmond led to his well-struck shot being beaten out, only for Josh Hancock to score with a firm shot from 15 yards or so. It was Alty's first goal from open play in more than 5 hours of football. Though the home side continued to have the better of the game, they continued to show a less than clinical approach in front of goal and were subjected to a tense 4 minutes of added time by Whitby. But Alty can be pleased, not only with the first win but also the first clean sheet of the campaign. On a night when the bottom 4 all won, Alty have moved up to 19th. Match report here. The new ALTY shop. Have you visited the new look Alty online shop yet? If not, follow the link here and deck yourself in the Alty colors. Tuesday scores. Tuesday the 22nd of August 2017. Altrincham 10 Whitby Town. Barwell 44 Rushall Olympic Buxton 02 Shore Lane Farsley Celtic 00 Lancaster City Grantham Town 01 Colville Town Hensford Town 20 Hales 0 Town Mickleover Sports 02 Stafford Rangers Staley Bridge Celtic 02 Marine Sutton Coldfield Town 33 Matlock Town Warrington Town 01 Ashton United Workington 11 Whitton Albion ALTY and the FA Cup. Following yesterday's FA Cup draw which assigned Altrincham an away tie on the 2nd of September at either Abbey Hay Main Road, Mike Garnett reminds us that this is the first time Alty have entered the FA Cup at this stage since 1992, when we met Curzon Ashton on this ground and won 30 in front of a crowd of 594. Prior to 1998, the stage at which a particular club entered the competition was determined by a very different set of criteria compared to the present system. Briefly, then as now, clubs in the top 2 tiers Premier League Division 1 is then called, I believe, entered at round 3. Remaining Football League clubs entered at round 1, along with the FA Trophy winners and runners-up from the preceding season and the 2 clubs judged most appropriate by the FA, which, for example, Indiana 19956 included Alty, basically on the strength of having reached round 3 the previous season. 20 clubs were exempt to the 4th qualifying round, essentially on the basis of the record in the previous few seasons, and most of the rest entered at the start of the competition. GM Vauxhall Conference clubs never took part in the preliminary rounds, being effectively exempt until the 1st qualifying round, and the same was to a degree true of the feeder divisions NPL, Isthmian Premier, Southern Premier. These days it is of course league status which determines entry level, which makes fixture planning a deal easier for league secretaries. Evo Stick Premier News. According to an iPitro, Tommy Lawson, manager of Marine AFC, has added Tom Field and Dominic Reed to his squad. Field is a vastly experienced 32-year-old central midfielder who joins the Mariners from Connersky Nomads. He began his career at Everton and has gone on to play for a number of clubs in England and Wales, including Stalybridge, Celtic, Vauxhall Motors, Lee Genesis, AFC Telford United, Droylsden, Northwich, Victoria, Airbus UK, Broughton, Chorley, Stockport County and Bangor City. Reed is a striker who joins the Mariners after being with neighbours Prescott Cables last season. A product of the Rochdale youth setup, Reed has also had his spells with Bootle AFC and AFC Fylde. Matlock Town announced the departures of Cleveland Taylor to Colville Town and Rory Coleman to Stocksbridge Park Steels. Saturday's visitors to alty are Colville Town, who on Tuesday travelled to Grantham Town looking to pick up the first points of the season. The Ravens will be boosted by the return of Masai McDonald, who has now completed his suspension, and new signing Cleveland Taylor, who will go straight into the squad. Lee Cox is also expected to return to the squad after missing out on Saturday through injury. Altrincham FC is delighted to announce the signing of centre-back James Jones D.O.B. The 13th of March 1997. James Wright impressed as a trialist for alty in July but, in August, decided to try his luck elsewhere. Now, the club is pleased that he has returned to the J. Davidson Stadium and signed for alty. He is expected to be involved in tonight's match against Whitby Town. Before joining Altrincham, James spent 3 seasons with Welsh Premier club the New Saints, graduating from their academy to the first team. With Chris Lynch having left the club, Tom Hannigan suspended, Sean Densmore abroad and forwards Josh Amos and Sean Miller still recuperating from the respective operations, alty were in need of reinforcements. Altrincham v Whitby Town match coverage. You can follow this fixture via this website's minute-by-minute text updates by clicking on the icon below. Alternatively, Radio Robins coverage of the game is outlined below as well. Brian Flynn announces that Radio Robins, sponsored by Ashley Mowers Garden Machinery, is providing full live commentary of tonight's game. The match commentary sponsor is Steve Bew. The commentators are Alex Sarwar and Brian Flynn, and the match summariser is John Edwards. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. with the game kicking off at 7:45 p.m. Guidance for listening to Radio Robins. Today there will be 4 ways to listen to Radio Robins via Mixlr or the Radio Robins website. Open the page in any web browser and the broadcast should start automatically. Please note that the 4-player options Windows Player Real Player QuickTime Winamp will not work now. Download and install the Mixlr app on Android devices from the Google Play Store. Start the app and search for Radio Robins. Download and install the Mixlr app on Apple devices from the Apple Store. Start the app and search for Radio Robins. There is a temporary Wix website here. The chat room software on radiorobins.com has been updated and should be accessible now for all users. FA Cup opponents in Monday night's FA Cup preliminary round replay. The score was Main Road 1, Abbey Hay 1 after 90 minutes, with Sam Freaks, once an alty trialist, having put the Gordon side ahead before a late equaliser sent the game to extra time. However, a serious injury to an Abbey Hay player in extra time led to the match abandonment. Earlier, NI Pichero had reported that the first qualifying round of the Emirates FA Cup has thrown up some interesting ties. 2 of the Chroma Sport Trophy's United Counties League sides who caused upsets in the last round both face Evo-Stick League Premier opponents, Boston Town having the bonus of being drawn at home to Hensford Town, while Step 6 Minnows Potton United travel to Dales Lane to take on Rushall Olympic. Little known, Hormond, last season S West Midlands Regional League champions who are now playing in the Midland League Premier Division, were rewarded with a home tie with another NPL Premier outfit, Matlock Town. Tool Station Northern Counties East League Division 1 side Grimsby Borough face a tough task by being drawn away to high-flying NPL Premier outfit Warrington Town. Altrincham hold the record of knocking out more Football League sides than any other club that has spent its entire history playing in non-league football. They faced a tricky derby from the winners of the All-Hallmark Security League replay between Abbey Hay and Main Road, but at least alty fans have far to travel. Whoever wins the Hallmark Security League records Abbey Hay's league record this season. In the Premier Division they have lost the first 2 fixtures, 0-3 at home to Widnes and 0-4 at home to Runcorn Linnets. They drew last Saturday with Main Road 22 in the FA Cup. Meanwhile, Main Road lost their opening league match 34 at Runcorn Town but beat Congleton Town 21 in Manchester. They qualified to meet Abbey Hay in the FA Cup by beating our pre-season opponents Winsford United 32 at Brantingham Road. Evo Stick Premier news in Monday night's league match. Stourbridge went a point clear at the top of the Premier Division. Stourbridge won, Nantwich Town won elsewhere. NI Pitchero confirms that Warrington Town have signed two players at opposite ends of the experience scale in Phil Baker and Caleb Richards, who joins on loan from Blackpool. Amazingly, Baker has won the Welsh Premier Championship no less than 8 times. The experienced 34-year-old centre-back Baker was an integral part of the new Saints squad for over a decade, and was twice named in the Welsh Premier Dream Team. Last year he was awarded the Dafabet Welsh Premier League Clubman of the Year award. Baker made his Welsh Premier debut for Bangor City in 2003, joining the Farrar Road club from Tranmere Rovers, but left after a short time to join League Two outfit Exeter City. Baker returned to Aberystwyth Town in 200,304 and made 32 appearances. After a brief spell with Droylsden, he rejoined Bangor City in September 2004. He joined the new Saints, where he has established himself as one of the Welsh Premier's most successful defenders of all time, with 340 league starts. Baker moved to the top of the all-time list of Welsh Premier players who have appeared for the clubs in European competitions. He has appeared in a record 31 games in Europe, including matches against Liverpool, RSC Anderlecht, CSKA Sofia and Legia Warsaw. Left-back Richards signed professional terms with Blackpool in April. The 18-year-old was under-18 captain last season and had a taste of first-team football. He has signed a deal which runs until the end of the 2018 season and includes options to extend by a further 12 months. Richards is no stranger to the non-league game, having spent time on work experience in November 2016 with Warrington S League rivals Marine AFC. The 21st of August 2017 alty away in FA Cup. Alty enter the FA Cup at the first round, qualifying on Saturday the 2nd of September 2017, the draw for which was made today, Monday. After 4 home cup draws for the club this summer, Cheshire Senior Cup, Integro Cup, FA Trophy and FA Youth Cup, Altrincham have been drawn away at Abbey Hay Main Road. Both clubs compete in the NW Counties Premier. Alty have not met Abbey Hay competitively, but in 199,091 we won 10 at Main Road in the FA Cup 2QR. The Northern Midlands element of the draw is below: 1 Penistone Church v Whitby Town, 2 Albion Sports v Barlick Town, 3 Prescott Cables a City of Liverpool v Nantwich Town, 4 Warrington Town v Grimsby Borough, 5 Ashton Athletic v Bamber Bridge, 6 Trafford Kidsgrove Athletic v Clitheroe, 7 Staley Bridge Celtic v Farsley, Celtic 8 Marine v Ashton United, 9 Shore Lane Association v Radcliffe Borough, Aberskett 10 Scarborough Athletic, Mask United v Workington, 11 Bottisford Town v Shildon, 12 Cleethorpes Town v Atherton Collieries, 13 Colne v Lancaster City, 14 Ossett Town v Concert, 15 Hyatt United v Harrogate Railway Athletic Kendal Town, 16 Droylsden v Colwyn Bay, 17 Abbey Hay Main Road v Altrincham, 18 Skelmersdale United v Handsworth Paramore, 19 Buxton v Frickley Athletic, 20 Penrith Whitley Bay v Newcastle Benfield, 21 Sunderland RCA v Liversedge, 22 Mossley v 1874 Northwich West Didsbury Chorlton, 23 Whitland Albion v South Shields, 24 Hales Owen Town v Basford United, 25 Boston Town v Hensford Town, 26 Newport Pagnell Town v Wisbech Town, Spalding United Kempston Rovers, 27 Loughborough Dynamo v Stourbridge, 28 Sporting Calcer v Alvechurch Market Drayton Town, 29 AFC Mansfield v Dunkirk, 30 Soham Town Rangers v AFC Wolverhampton Westfields, 31 Ainsbury Rovers v Stafford Rangers Peterborough Sports, 32 Rushall Olympic v Potton United, 33 Sutton Coldfield Town v Barwell, 34 Street Ives Town Town v Colville Town 35, Grantham Town v Holbeach United 36, Ormond v Matlock Town 37, Tividale v AFC Rushden Diamonds 38, Lincoln United Abelper Town v Redditch United 39, Shropshire Dynamo v Leek Town 40, Romulus v Kettering Town 41, Stratford Town v Newcastle Town, Evesham United 42, Kings Lynn Town v Coleshill Town 43, Mickleover Sports v Hinckley. Chris Lynch departs. Altrincham FC announces that defender Chris Lynch has been released from his contract this week. He has struggled to get his fitness because of certain injuries he has been fighting, and we have made the decision together that the best thing moving forward is for us to part company now. All at Altrincham FC wish Chris all the best in his future career and a quick recovery from his injuries. New shop for ALTY merchandise. Club photographer Gavin Rathbone has produced an impressive new website to showcase Altrincham FC's merchandise. It can be found here. So why not pay to visit and order your alty replica kits and so much more. FA Cup draw. Alty enter the FA Cup at the first round qualifying on Saturday the 2nd of September 2017, the draw for which is due at some time on Monday today. As usual, the FA is incapable of saying exactly when the draw takes place, but it is believed to be around 1 p.m. Youths lose first game. The North West Youth Alliance reports that Altrincham FC Youth lost their opening league match of the season 51 away to Chester FC. Other results were Ashton Athletic 1, Southport 5, Curzon Ashton 4, AFC Fylde 2, Stockport County 0, Nelson 12. Other teams in the Premier Division this season are Chorley, Hyde United and Prescott Cables. Alty's next league fixture is at home to Prescott Cables at Flixton Football Club M41 8RQ next Sunday. In the NWI Open Cup, Alty are at home on a day TBC to Southport, and in the Neil Thomason Cup they entertain Chorley. In the FA Youth Cup first qualifying round, to be played in week commencing Monday the 18th of September, Altrincham will be away to either Ashton United or Chadderton. Next opponents Whitby Town on Tuesday night. Altrincham welcome Whitby Town to the J. Davidson Stadium. Mike Garnett reminds us of the historical record of matches between Alty and Whitby Town. After 10 encounters, Whitby have yet to defeat Altrincham. Home P5W4D1LOF11E3, away P5W4D1LOF13A7, all P1OW8D2LOF24A10. On Saturday, the Whitby Gazette reported that a clinical performance from Stourbridge ensured a 31 defeat and a second defeat in 3 for Whitby Town. Just 4 shots on target brought 3 goals from the visitors, with Jordan Archer netting a brace, with Glass Boys skipper Paul McCone adding the other. The Seasiders' only response came from Luke Bythwaite's powerful 25-yard free kick. Chris Hardy named an unchanged side from Tuesday night's victory over Stalybridge Celtic, with the only change to the team sheet coming with Andy Monkhouse making the bench over Anthony Hume. Whitby Town: Bland 6, Martin 6, McWilliams 6, Bythwaite 7, Bullock 6, Snaithsey 7, Carson 6, Girl 6, Willett G 6, Diamond 6, Risborough 6. Subs not used: Roberts, May, McGoldrick, Fryatt, Monkhouse. Whitby Town MOTM: Luke Bythwaite scored Whitby's first half equaliser with a Thunderbolt free kick whilst putting in a solid performance at the back. Last opponents Matlock Town. Matlock Town have video highlights of Saturday's game with Altrincham. Right, Alty hold a huddle before kick-off. Matlock Town report that Dwayne Wiley's bullet header from a 48th minute corner won the Gladiators all 3 points on a day when sheer hard work and determination won the day over quality. So Matlock have 7 points from 3 games, while Alty, one of the pre-season favourites for the title, have just a solitary point so far. It was the visitors' James Poole who had the first striker goal. Altrincham continued to attack, but Matlock should have gone in front in the 12th minute when the electric pace of Darnell Bailey-King saw him race beyond Tom Hannigan, only to shoot wide of the far post in a one-on-one with Thompson. In the next minute, Alty full-back Simon Richmond brought down Ted Cribley, and after he was booked, Jake Green's free kick was fingertipped aside by Thompson. This was a good spell of pressure from Matlock, with Wiley having a 19th minute chance from a carbon copy of his goal which he glanced wide. Poole looked to be the Alty dangerman. Matlock soon had Altrincham on the back foot after the break with the goal. Doyle Charles received a 78th minute caution for fouling Poole. It's slightly worrying for the homesters. They were being pushed further back as the Robins increased the pressure. Matlock defended resolutely as Altrincham struggled in vain for a breakthrough. Matlock could reflect on a battling performance rather than one full of attacking flair, but nevertheless it was a job well done. Evo Stick Premier News Hensford Town report on Shore Lane AFC 3 Hensford Town 1. Hensford Town would fall to defeat against League New Boys Shore Lane with defensive frailties once again costing the pitmen dear. Manager Neil Tooth was able to call on the services of striker Luke Rogers for the first time this season, with him coming straight into the starting lineup. The game was barely 3 minutes old though before the pitmen found themselves a goal down after the home side's Gavin Rothery picked the ball up on the left before delivering a teasing ball into the box, which was turned home by Sam Oji into his own net. Hensford responded well from this early setback though and drew level in the 14th minute when Danny Glover once again rose highest to nod the ball down inside the penalty area, and Matt Dodd was able to poke it home underneath the advancing goalkeeper. Hensford felt somewhat aggrieved in the 42nd minute when James Laurie's effort was ruled out, with Glover adjudged to have fouled his man. This would prove to be crucial as on the stroke of half-time the home side retook the lead. A third goal would arrive for Shore Lane in the 59th minute. Alty Old Boys or Extralists are emboldened in the following list: Shore Lane AFC Stuart Bembaletta, Sargent, Lenyon, Lugsden, Qualter, Byrne, Harris, Abadaki, Clayton, Chilaka, Norris, Rothery, Walker. Subs not used: Reeves, Huff, Hensford Town, Wren, Wright, Ballinger, Bailey, Oji, Smith, Dodd, Thorley, Glover, Nardett, Rogers 65, Laurie, Green 61. Subs not used: Mutton, Melbourne, Taylor. At least one Shore Lane supporter nominated Lenine as man of the match on Twitter. The 20th of August 2017, Matlock Town 1 Altrincham 0. Alty's poor start to the season continued as they lost to a headed goal by Wiley from a right-wing corner. The first half had seen some good play from Alty but with no real goal threat at the end of it. But Alty started the second half poorly and Matlock took the lead in the 49th minute. Second half substitutions did improve things, but it was deep into added time before Sam Sheridan produced his side's best shot of the game, which Barnes pushed over the bar. Right Tom Hannigan heads clear in the second half as Lewis Short looks on. Match report here: reserves draw. Altrincham FC reserves drew 11 at home to Rylands on Saturday. Next Saturday they play at Whaley Bridge Athletic 6:30 p.m. Phil on Nantwich draw. Brian Flynn, Alty Press and Media Officer, has provided the following comments on last Tuesday's game at Nantwich by manager Phil Parkinson, which have been submitted to Altrincham today. 1 point from 2 games is obviously not the start that we were looking for in our opening matches of this Evo Stick Premier Division campaign, but I was delighted with the way the players dug in on Tuesday night at Nantwich to get a result. The 30 opening day home defeat to Stafford was pretty devastating in itself, so when we went a goal down and were reduced to 10 men inside 40 minutes with the dismissal of Tom Hannigan, I was wondering what the hell was going on, but I could see the determination on the players' faces in the dressing room at halftime, and we really took the game to Nantwich in the second half, despite having a one-man disadvantage. We had to take a chance tactically by going one-on-one against them at the back, but this worked well and we gradually took control of the game and deserved the late equaliser through John Johnston's penalty, which we may have been a little fortunate to get as the tackle may have been just outside the area. If it was, then we deserved a bit of luck. We certainly deserved something out of the game. We all appreciated the tremendous support at Nantwich. There must have been a couple of hundred Alty fans who kept on singing and encouraging the team throughout the game, despite the difficult circumstances that we faced from the 39th minute onwards. Today, we travel to Derbyshire to take on Matlock Town, who have started well with a draw at highly fancied Stourbridge and a 32 home win against Hensford on Tuesday night. It will be a tough encounter, but I know the players will be up for it. We will be without Sean Densmore for the next 3 games. He is best man at a wedding in the USA, and Chris Lynch will not be travelling, as he has a back problem. Tom Hannigan will miss Tuesday night's game at home to Whitby as he will be serving a 1-match suspension. Therefore we need strengthening in the central defensive area, and I am hoping to bring someone in to do that, possibly today, but certainly for Tuesday. We are still searching for that first win, but I am convinced that when it comes, these players and this team will start to fly. And I am convinced that everyone is in for an exciting and successful season. Evo Stick Premier News: the Evo Stick League confirms the following transfers involving Premier Division clubs. Cameron Gilchrist from Inverness, Caledonian Thistle, Scotland to Barwell, Alfie Carber from Iscon, France to Buxton, Bradley Macian Jones from Hull City to Colville Town, Devon Green from Blackburn Rovers to Hensford Town, Scott Lysett from Whitland Albion to Leek Town, Dominic Reed from Prescott Cables to Marine, Casper Hughes from AFC Fylde to Nantwich Town, Kyman Anderson from Southport to Nantwich Town, Lone Ben Stokes from Colville Town to Romulus, Dave Moley from Welling United to Rushall Olympic, Christian Scott from Nuneaton Town to Rushall Olympic, David Norris from Salford City to Shaw Lane, Henry Ez from Rushall Olympic to Stamford, Rory Coleman from Colville Town to Stocksbridge Park Steels, Philip Baker from the New Saints Wales to Warrington Town, Caleb Richards from Blackpool to Warrington Town Youth Loan, Benjamin Headley from Morecambe to Whitton Albion Loan, Evo Stick Premier Gates at 187, Ashton United 2, Grantham Town 1, Exalt Team Liam Tomset Loan, Ian Mark Lees scored the goals at 128, Colville Town 03, Warrington Town Sean Williams scored a penalty for Warrington at 357, Hales Owen Town 1-2, Farsley Celtic James Walshaw scored one of Farsley's goals at 192, Lancaster City 1-1, Micklover Sports at 301, Marine 0-1, Barwell at 457, Matlock Town 1-0, Altrincham at 307, Nantwich Town 2-0, Workington at 231, Rushall Olympic 1-0, Staley Bridge Celtic at 152, Shaw Lane 3-1, Hensford Town at 592, Stafford Rangers 1-4, Buxton at 231, Whitby Town 1-3, Stourbridge at 298, Whitton Albion 1-0, Sutton Coldfield Town. Old Boys Exaltee players who scored in the Emirates FA Cup preliminary round included Alex Frost netted a brace for Droylsden in front of 89 spectators. Ossett Albion 3-4, Droylsden 202 people saw Jerome Wright score, but Ramsbottom United lost 23 at home to Liversedge, and in Vanarama North, Salford City beat Kidderminster Harriers 30 thanks to a Jack Redshaw hat-trick.